The free ride is over for Section 8 women who can't afford rent. We've got a video for you here today from Men Only. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way in, and let's get into it.
So you didn't know this was coming?
No, who is the owner then?
Well, you're not even on. So you saying you just staying at a friend's house?
I was renting the house from Jennifer.
And Jennifer didn't pay no rent and left you sitting here. Well, you know, there's nothing I can do about that, man.
I know. Who is the owner? Is there any way I can speak to them to see if they can at least give me until the morning to get all my crap out of here?
It's too late for that, man. Now, you can call Jennifer. She might have the owner's name. So call her. Maybe she can give you the owner's name.
What she's saying makes no sense. It's not like she woke up one morning and was told that she was going to get evicted. They will try multiple times in several different ways to warn tenants to vacate. So she's either lying or she's just profoundly ignorant. I don't know.
Okay.
Now, first thing I need you to do, though, is do something with that dog. And then we can talk after that. So can you go get the dog, put the dog in the car?
Can I, like I said, I just woke up. Can I please go use the bathroom?
Right.
I'm
pregnant. Is that your boyfriend back there?
That's my husband.
Your husband? Can he put the dog up?
Yes, sir.
Tell him to bring the dog up right now and put the dog up.
You see all this stuff? How am I going to get all this stuff?
Well, I'm going to talk to you after we get the dog taken care of.
Okay.
No, you don't need to close the door, ma'am.
Sir.
Go get the dog. This is an eviction, ma'am. It's not moving day. It's an eviction.
Okay.
Look at how filthy that house is. There's junk everywhere. I mean, people who live like this take their homes for granted and have no respect for their own living space, but then they cry when they're kicked out of the disaster zone that they quite literally created.
I'm trying to make sure my dog doesn't get back out.
Okay. We just tell him to go ahead and get the dog. Let's go.
Baby, this is eviction. We gotta leave. We gotta put this in the car.
Can you grab the dog and put the dog up? All right.
He's gonna have to get the leash. Is there any way you can?
Well, can you take the dog at the back? The leash and stuff is in the backyard. I just saw one. And he can put the dog in one of those cars, or he can train him up and back somewhere, as long as he's out the way.
People like this will always try to stall for time so that they can figure out a way to stay in their houses. Then they act like they're the victims because they ignored all of the warning signs and have no places to go, right? They should have thought about that before it got this bad.
Hold on, he's right there. Please, just hold on just a second.
Okay.
They're not giving us but 5 minutes.
5 minutes? How are we gonna get 5 minutes worth of stuff out of here?
Well, here's how it works. As long as y'all are peaceful, then the way it's supposed to work is to give you 5 minutes, you grab your stuff, then we're going to move everything else out. However, as long as y'all understanding what's going on, knowing that it's not our fault, we're just here to do the job, I can leave y'all in here where y'all can pack some stuff as long as y'all don't get in our way. Okay.
It really makes you wonder how people live like this. There is barely any room in that house to move around. They destroyed that house, and now the owner is going to have to spend far too much money to make that home actually livable again.
Because what people do sometimes, because it's your house, I know you feel violated, but people start getting in the way, like, don't touch that, we can't have that. As long as you let the guys come in and do their thing, you do your thing, that's fine. But the first thing you need to grab...
It's our life out here. Like, my wife's pregnant, everything, like...
Well, that's something, y'all need to call this Jennifer person. And maybe she can call the owner and work something out, but on my end, there's nothing I can do. I don't have any kind of
right now.
I don't have any kind of discretion or any kind of thing I can do.
Oh God! You need to go get tell Kevin. There's a man that lives out in the other house too.
Yeah, blue house out there.
Guys like this are just trying to do their jobs, but they also have to deal with tenants who will throw tantrums, make threats, and guilt trip them, all while having to deal with a massive pile of garbage. Whatever these guys are making, it is not good enough.
Okay, so I don't even know that. Okay. So is he here?
Yeah, he's out there.
It's his truck out there.
Okay.
He needs to be notified so he can get his stuff too.
So you gonna put that dog up for me?
Yeah. Baby, you gotta go put the Caesar in your car.
Okay.
Kitty. Christmas. Hey, I need my phone. Are they gonna let us get all of our stuff?
Yeah, everything's gonna have to come out.
What makes this weird is how she's acting like she has an emotional attachment to everything in that house, but there's so much trash and garbage all over the place that there's no possible way to tell what's actually valuable and what should be sent to the dump.
Good. Nah, got the back door. No, back door. Please tell them to stay back.
Okay.
To the car. That's our child.
So now I love dogs. I already called animal control, so they're supposed to be on the way, but I'm gonna call them back and
Yes,
counsel.
please do.
Even the front of the house looks like a complete mess. The types of people who live on these properties have no respect for them at all. They just trash the place because they're not the ones who are fitting the bill.
Some tenants break their lease or some just stop paying the rent. But this one, she went out in a blaze, literally. She set the place on fire. So we're going to go inside, we're going to take a look, and then we're going to tell you the whole entire story. I sold this place to a friend of mine back in 2017. He had a nightmare tenant right from the get-go. He was actually very afraid. She was a very nasty person. She was nasty to the neighbors. She was nasty to him. So he was actually fearful of getting rid of her. Anyway, turns out she ends up burning the place down. If the New York City rental laws were actually more accommodating, he probably would have evicted her a while ago. I would have never had this situation, as well as having her family displaced. She had the tenant downstairs family displaced, as well as the next door neighbors, because that went on fire as well.
These people are insane. They refuse to pay rent, they terrorize the neighbors, and then they set the property on fire for petty reasons. And the laws would rather protect these people and the arsonists, the squatters, over the people who are legally obligated to pay taxes or just the property payments in general. It's so stupid.
The renovation cost is dramatic. He's got to file permits. He's got to get licensed contractors in here. It's going to be pretty dramatic, the expenses that it's going to incur. The woman that set this place on fire got arrested for arson. Here's the crazy part. Dora, what happened?
They contacted me to help her find the top food.
She sets the place on fire, and New York City is actually looking to help her get another apartment and put her to a place, instead of killing her voucher and not allowing her to rent, keeping her in the shelter to learn a lesson. That's not how New York City works. What they do is they take them, they put them in the shelter, and they put them to another place, cause more chaos for another landlord.
What makes it worse is how she literally burned down a property, endangered several lives, and then got arrested. But apparently burning down a house out of pettiness isn't severe enough of a crime to be sent to prison. That's interesting.
EBT, food stamps. The sad part is what these people are saying, how they feel it's entitled. Unbelievable the way this world is. I actually feel bad for our future. We're in a sad state right now because you know what? Food stamps and all that was created, I believe, in the early 60s for a crutch. Do you realize that when people first went on it, they weren't even allowed to have a TV. They would do home visits, and I'm going to give my opinion on it because I was on it at one time. I was a teen mom, so I had to get food stamps because I was going to school.
There's nothing wrong with people asking for help, but EBT was designed to be a temporary solution until people could get back on their feet. It wasn't designed to financially support entire households for years on end. The system is being abused by too many damn people, let's be real.
I was going to school for nursing, so it was my son and me, and I got food stamps and all that happy noise, and then I went into government housing. Here's where I think the system is messed up, is what do they call it? Section 8. Do you realize how much people get a month for housing? That's where the money's going. Make that make sense to me. Make that be fair to me, because I can't. When I did government housing, I was a teenager with my son. We moved into government housing and they went by your income. So I paid $25 a month. Now, mind you, this was the 80s, okay?
The examples of people treating food stamps in government housing as a stepping stone to help them as they build themselves up is getting more and more rare by the day. Too many people refuse to work if they're getting their needs met for free and for doing nothing.
$25 a month, and they didn't have CAP back then. But the electric and gas wasn't much. And I got food stamps for us. And back then you got cash because I was in school. That's how I was able to get it, I think now I'm not even going to touch that. We're going to just talk about food stamps and Section 8. So here's my thing. Section 8, people will get Section 8, which is allowance for their housing every month, which could be a lot of money. Now, if they want a bigger house or a better house more than what they get, then they got to make up the difference. But we're talking like some people get like over $1,000 a month for housing.
It's crazy that there are some people who will get 1K a month for housing and they still act like they are entitled to more. Most regular people, most working class people would give up their right arm for that extra money, but too many people are just taking it for granted.
You know, where to me, if you need that, if you need to rely on the government, then you go into government housing. You go to government housing, which is considered the projects, and they go by your income. So you could pay whatever, 100, 200, 500, whatever it is, it goes on your income, because that's what you can afford. You're basically needing everybody else to pay for your housing every month. That's not fair. Go get a job. There is everywhere I go, and business owners, they can't get people to work. They can't get help. Dairy Queen, they're shutting their hours down early because they don't have enough of workers.
For a lot of these people on government assistance, they don't want to work because they're too used to getting everything for free. And the mere idea of earning their own money is so offensive that they would rather resort to shoplifting and rioting than contributing to the society that they actually leech from.
Go get a job. That's what the government needs to do. Don't shut the government down. I think that's crazy. You know what I mean? Go buy, first and foremost, if you just eliminated Section 8, you're going to get a lot of money. And then with food stamps, I think that you should have to work so many hours. Do you know what I mean? Whether you have a baby, little ones or not. When my older two were younger, I delivered the papers. Would get them out of bed at 5 in the morning to go deliver the papers. I wasn't on food stamps. That was just to make ends meet, make extra money. You know, you do what you got to do. One of my sons, him and his wife work opposite schedules. You do what you got to do. I'll never feel bad for somebody on that because there's always something you could do. I was there, but I didn't stay there. I didn't want to stay there.
That's an attitude that more people need to adopt. There are people who want to make it on their own without asking for help, but too many people would rather live in squalor if it means that they don't have to do anything for anybody else.
And that's what it needs to be going back to, a crutch, because that's what it was created for, to help you to the next level, not to keep on it for year after year and generation after generation. That's not what it was for. And then these people that have this expectation of entitlement, what? Wait a minute. Why should I have to go to work every day to pay for your rent, to pay for your groceries? I got to do without at times. I got to pick the choice. Well, should I buy this or should I not buy this right now? I got to go to work and pay my taxes so that you don't. Make that make sense to me. And then the final straw was when people say, I don't care if they want to cut the food stamps. I'll go to self-checkout. So because they're stealing.
And the sad part is that once there's massive shoplifting, not only will they not get arrested for stealing, but the very same stores have to shut down and then nobody will be able to eat. But anyway, guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.